the management were very particular about staff welfare. Let me give you an example. It may look like a small thing, but for me, it's one of the things that I'll always remember. You know, when you go to a restaurant and then you leave, then when you're paying your bill, you leave a tip. Now the tip goes to the waiter who served you. So
yes.
But who made that food?
The chef.
Yeah.
So why you're the front facing?
Yeah.
Does that mean this guy doesn't get a cut?
In many restaurants, they don't. But here's what Carnivore does. At least it used to do. I assume it's still the same right now.
Yeah.
So when you look at your bill at Carnivore, there's VAT, then there is I think training levy or something, the one that goes to Utalii College or something. And then there's a 10% service charge. By the way, it's a you can say you don't want to pay that service charge. You can say you don't want to pay, but it's there in the bill. What happens in the Carnivore system is this. Apart from managers who get bonuses based on monthly performance, all other staff at Carnivore are on a rating system. So what happens is, I think the rating starts from 1 to 7. So, and the rating system were actually called service charge points. So what happens is, you can be employed and then you're told at your level, this is your title, this is your salary, and 3 service charge points. And anytime you're promoted, you can be promoted to 4 service charge points. What happens is, all these 10% are put together. All of them are put together.
Yes.
Then all these points are put together for everyone, such that this money is divided
according to your
service points.
Yes.
So that guy in the kitchen will also get something.
Nice.
Now, so that you know, this was sometimes a huge amount. The service charge for, say, now we're in the month of June. So at the end of June, you'll get your salary for June.
Yep.
On the 15th of July, you'll get your service charge for June.
Oh.
So on 15th, you have tunes.
There's like something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how I realized that this service charge is a lot. One day, a waiter came and told me, Mr. Fakii, can you help me talk to HR because I haven't been paid my salary for 3 months. I was like, what? So he says, yeah, I haven't been paid my salary for 3 months. I told him first, before we even get there, if you haven't been paid for 3 months, how are you surviving? The guy, first I asked him, how do you know you haven't been paid? Then he says, I went to my account to withdraw money day before yesterday because I wanted to buy a fridge and I had no money.
Yeah.
Then he says, so I realized I haven't been paid for 3 months because he had switched bank accounts.
Yes.
So I asked him, so have you been surviving? He told me service charge. Imagine. 3 months. Guy hasn't touched his salary.
It was sweet.
It was sweet. Let me tell you, sometimes I used to see those figures and I'm like, wait, my bonus for this month is smaller than this. You know.
Because the thing about Carnivore, there's that exquisite, before this new Mexican place came up, was it Mexican or Brazilian? The Brazilian restaurant, there's 2 of them. One at the former roundabout of Westlands and another in, I've forgotten the name of it. Anyway, I've forgotten that restaurant. Carnivore was the only place you could go and have all these exquisite different nyama.
Yes.
Cow balls.
Yes.
Things like that.
Now, the waiters at the main restaurant, I believe, still make a lot of money because especially the guys from outside the country,
the foreigners.
There, you know, when they leave tips, you see, when you leave a tip, you leave 50 bob a sock, 200. That guy is leaving a tip in dollars.
Yep, $10.
So he leaves $5,
Yep.
$10,
Yep.
$20. At that point, because you don't do calculation, it doesn't hit you $20. You just left a guy. How much?
2 Gs.
2 Gs.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you. I don't know if you were there at that time or if you're in the formation of this. There's a time, and I'm sort of in a selfish way asking this one. We as Kijiji started having nights there. Were you part of that? It was you.
Yeah, I was there.
You are a boss.
I was there.
So
there.
let's talk
But
about
I think
that.
they started off when Julie was there. Then now when I came in, I continued. Because I
What?
remember you guys had a night. Kina
I was
Villagers
like-
Band had a night.
Yeah, ours was live at the village.
Live at the village,
Yes.
yes. Because I used to deal with
Mwendi. Kanji's wife. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Atemi had a night.
Atemi had a night. Kina Chris Adwara's villagers also had a night.
Okay.
I think also Kina Tim Rimbui had a night. I think they also had a night.
Okay. Anything else that you feel like you want to share within this period of your time at Carnivore?
When I told Carnivore that I want to do my wedding in 2010, the support Carnivore gave me, and even today we still ask ourselves, like, why didn't we just do it at Carnivore? We went all the way to, there's a new venue called Tipuana Gardens near Bomas of Kenya.
Yeah.
Carnivore gave us a lot of stuff. Carnivore gave us our wedding cake, and it was an amazing cake. I remember it till this day.
When you say give, they mean give.
Yeah, gave. Like that cake, like they did that big cake, and then now those two small ones. What are they called? The ones that now
The cupcakes.
Yeah, no, the small ones that are in two papers that you,
bouquet,
you know.
They
They gave us tables and chairs. They gave us a dance floor. They gave us sound.
First and foremost, where have you met your wife at this time?
Oh,
You've not talked about relationships. You've just been grinding with artists.
I met her in 2005 initially. When I was still working with Bandsoft, then he still used to do those SMS things with the media houses. So at that time she was working at KTN. So now me, I'm going with him to KTN, and while him is working, me, I'm just walking around. So I saw someone, I was like,
how do you do this?
You know? Yeah, so we met.
Can I get your number to test our SMS platform?
But I think at that point she just thought I was a joker, because let me tell you, in fact, you've reminded me. Those days, there used to be this magazine, Pulse magazine. You remember?
Yes.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
So Pulse magazine was, I think at that point, was such a big deal for our industry that sometimes on Thursday, as you sleep, you freak out because you're wondering, what will they say about me on Friday? Now, I used to end up appearing on Pulse magazine, but I used to appear in a nice way, but just the fact that you're in Pulse magazine, you look like one of the jokers, because you can be mentioned in the same story as people who did something. But now, for my wife, funny enough, those days, the most memorable thing at that point was there's a gig that had been done by Lona Irungu back then when she was at Carnivore, and I think it involved even Kina Kaz. So this gig, and I'll tell you the name so that you know why being mentioned around this was, So the story in the paper came out as there was this gig that happened at Carnivore, and then so it mentioned a lot of chicks who were there. Then they also say part of the guests were also, and I remember this, Shafiweru and Fakii Liwali. You know what the gig was? Vagina monologues. So you can imagine how we
were
look.
You part of the guests?
Yeah, I was part of the guests, yes. But you see, it was an industry thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we had been invited.
Yeah.
So you're going there because it was an industry thing.
Yes, I get, yeah.
But then, how it comes out in the story,
I know.
it comes out like, what are you guys doing there, And there were many other guys, but for some reason we were
It's just the
singled
two
out,
of you guys.
So anytime Maze, I was trying to katia her, she'd be like, hey, you guy of vagina monologues. So so it took me a while. I think it took me like I think almost 2 years.
So you had decided she's the one?
I decided she's the one, but her, she was not seeing it.
And before this, were you dating?
Before that, was I dating?
Ama utaki kuongea.
Nikisema naweza choma. Wacha nione watu wengine wataisema kwa CTA.
Okay, let me ask this, because this is a big part that I feel like you haven't brought up. Carnivore was the home ground for international artists.
Yes.
During that time, did you get to experience any international artists?
A lot.
I know, and of course, you're back to working with HomeBoyz. You're back to working with
all these people. I'm back to working with all of them, and I'm trying to remember a memorable one. I remember Brick and Lace during Red Sun's album launch. I remember some time when Airtel were doing something, a competition where they brought in Ja Rule. I don't know if I was at Carnivore at that time, but I remember that one. I remember a lot of Indian concerts. You guy, let me tell you, there's no money in a concert like in an Indian concert. Hey, wait, let me tell you. You know VIP? VIP, the one where if a gig here is 1,000 bob, VIP is 3K.
Yeah.
In those circles, a gig is 1,000 bob, VIP is 50K. And let me tell you how big this VIP was. While everyone else at that point, you buy your ticket at the gate. For this concert's VIP, the promoter takes the tickets
to
the person's house.
Ooh.
And they buy tables, 50K times 5 times 10.
Okay.
Like those concerts. You know, you wonder why this promoter is bringing sofa sets into the gig and putting them at the front there. But then when you hear what those guys have paid, you set up an extra bar for them, you set up toilets for them, you know. So there's a lot of learning of Nini.
In fact, I'll ask for you, Carnivore must have been an expansion, because now you're dealing with not just the people who you were dealing with before at Capital, but even different target audiences, different people who want to do the NDA parties.
And for NDA parties, by the way, part of our job was also to recommend and also manage talent for the NDA parties for companies.
What?
Yeah. So you have to tell them you can get so and so, you can get so and so, and then even now managing their setups, knowing what they need in terms of technical and all that. At Carnivore is when I really saw that, you know, the technical riders for international artists.
Yes.
Hey, that's when I saw them. Because we used to receive a lot of them. Because you see, anyone who wants to do an international artist gig, they bring you the technical rider so that you see. Because the technical riders are very specific in terms of the size of the stage, the depth of the stage, the levels of the stage. Like they tell you the stage has to have like 3 levels. They tell you like the size of the dressing room, what needs to be in the dressing room. And let me tell you, there's some simple things like a mirror. And the guy even specifies the mirror has to be minimum this size by this size on a stand or something. And then the stand, the distance between where the mirror starts and the ground should be this. They're very specific about that. But I got to appreciate it thanks to Nameless. You know, when an artist, and if you think about it, it's even in our daily lives. Before an artist gets on stage, they look at themselves in the mirror and they see what the audience will be seeing. If they don't feel confident, it will show in the performance. It's the same way you and I, before you leave the house, you look at the mirror, either face only or full. But when you feel like you look good, it gives you the confidence of, even when you're something simple as walking out there, there's a way you'll walk based on how you're dressed. Like you'll feel like medunga, and so it's the same thing for artists. So I learned how to appreciate a lot of those things, because for me, and I guess it was research without knowing, when the artists would come over, I used to engage their road crew or their managers, like to understand why do you guys need this? Why do you guys need this? Let me tell you something I learned also in that. Sometimes the technical riders are so long. Just forget contract.
Yep.
Technical rider only is like 4 pages.
And just explain to somebody who may not understand.
Okay, so technical rider is the specifications that the artist wants. From sound to stage to lighting to what they need in their dressing room to what kind of security they need to what kind of vehicles they need to travel in. Sometimes an artist would put something, or their management would put something in the technical rider that doesn't make sense, or will make you call them to ask for clarification. When you call them, they know you're serious because you've read it. So they'd put something like, I think I saw one where
Carolina blue cufflinks.
Some things like those. There's somebody who asked for, and this was in an Indian technical rider. The guy asked for a certain species of sparrows. Yes. So now you're telling them, wait, we can't find this thing. Then they tell you it's okay.
But they now know.
Then when they come, they tell you, now we know you read our technical rider.
You guys are serious.
Michael Jackson's team used to do that a lot also. So they just slide in something. And I learned it to the point where I even implemented the same letter.
I was going to say that right now you're in school because you don't know what the future holds for you.
You put in a technical rider, put blackface towels. So someone has to call you to ask you, why? Do they have to be black? Because blackface towels are so hard to get. Like, where will you get blackface towels? Like, do they have to be black? Then now I know you've read the technical rider. Because it's important.
Yeah. Okay, so there's something that you, at this time, have you decided that, I'm trying to understand you from a visionary perspective, is by the time you're at, you see the way you're at Capital, you know you want to go to Carnivore. But when you're at Carnivore, are you still thinking, this is just a pit stop, kuna pali naenda? Or are you...
Initially, no. But then I'll tell you of an incident that happened to me that was my moment of, I'm done with Carnivore.
Okay.
But before that, let me tell you something else memorable that happened to me at Carnivore. So one day, or rather at some point, we are told we have this high-level guest coming into the country and they'll be coming to Carnivore for dinner. Now, I'll jump the story of the preparation a bit.
Yep.
So that I don't give away who I'm talking about first. But I want to tell you. So,
in fact, hold on. Let's change some batteries here.